Hey Metrix, this is Julie Youngblood, your head coach, and today we're going to focus on what we call the active sales pipeline. Now before we dig into that, let's take a little walk down memory lane. Let's talk about the birthplace of the real estate team. Now if you really think about it, 20 some years ago, before teams were really around, there was a top producer. And this top producer was killing it, taking tons of listings. And as a result, this top producer's phone started ringing off the hook with buyer leads. And at first, this agent could service all of the leads that were coming in. And at some point, the rate in which the leads were coming in outpaced the agent's ability to service the leads. Now, this agent started cherry picking the leads that were the closest to being a transaction. I mean, can you blame them if someone said they were just looking or not ready for 5 or 6 years? Why on earth would this agent want to work with that person right now or follow up for 5 or 6 years when they had 5 or 10 or maybe even 20 other people who were ready to go now? As a result, that agent did what we call cherry picking. Now, this was a smart agent, a top producer, and so this person said, wow, if I brought on an agent to work with me, they could work all the leads that I can't handle, and then I could take a portion of the commission, and ta-da, the birthplace of the real estate team. The real estate team was built on cherry picking. Let's be really, really clear about that. And so today we're going to talk about what we call the active sales pipeline. Now, I find it funny that before we established what the active sales pipeline was, as team leads, by the way, guilty, I would get frustrated with my agents when a lead would come in and they'd call it 2 or 3 times, maybe 4 or 5 times, and then for whatever reason they wouldn't call that lead for 2 years. I would be frustrated with that. Well, maybe the lead wasn't ready now, or maybe, just maybe, my agent was actively engaged with leads that were a little bit closer to putting money in their pocket. Again, I can't blame them. I would do the same thing. And so when we talk about the active sales pipeline, we're talking about really giving our agents permission to cherry pick the best of the best leads out of the database. Now, it's kind of neat when we let them do that because they also get to own the quality of their dashboard. All the leads are good. It's just a matter of, have you built the skill set to figure out which ones are closest to putting money in your pocket? Now, we teach that, and we've got a great scripts book through Metrix that if you're part of our implementation program, you've gotten a copy of. And we go ahead and we break down that active sales pipeline a little bit further because I think it's important to recognize. Now that we've taught our agents to cherry pick and we know that 100 is about the biggest number that any one agent can work really on purpose at a time, we're going to teach them how to break down that top 100. So we've got our hot leads, right? These are the ones that are looking to make a move 0 to 90 days. And we've got a follow-up system built around that. 7 days or less, we're going to stay in touch and make the phone call. We've got our nurtures. These are the leads that are 3 to 12 months out, and we're going to touch them every 14 days or less. And then we've got our watches, and these are the people that are further out. They're 12 plus months. Now, here's what's really neat about the active sales pipeline, and when you really start to work the pond concept and the top 100, is that initially when an agent joins the team, you're going to find as a newer agent, they're going to have many more watches in their top 100. And as they build their skill set and their confidence and they learn how to work the pond, their dashboard will become more robust. Their active sales pipeline will become more robust. Typically, the makeup that I've seen for the hundreds and hundreds of agents that we have put through this program is anybody with about 12 months into the system, they'll have roughly 15 to 20 people in hot in their active sales pipeline. So that's 20 phone calls they're making once a week. They'll have roughly another 60 to 80 people in the nurture zone. Yeah, it just depends on how many are in hot, right? The total must be less than 100. And then the rest will be watch. So what's exciting about that is your agents will begin to feel like all the leads that they're working are the best leads because they are. Now, as a team owner, you say, well, what about all the leads that are farther out, the ones that aren't on this active sales pipeline? Well, we've got a system that we work in the pond. We call those leads the pond leads. And when you follow the implementation program, every single lead in the pond is going to get called a minimum of once to twice a month. At a minimum. And so the truth is the active sales pipeline, these are the people that are going to put money in our agents' pockets. It gives them the ability to cherry pick the very best leads. So we don't have to hear that these leads stink anymore. And it keeps our agents focused on getting paid, which really, quite honestly, isn't that why they joined your team in the first place, was to have a better quality of life? If you have any questions, you can always feel free to reach out. My email is julie@metrixtraining.com. Have a great one.